it's not running off the pressure of the reins. Okay. Good. So I'm also working on calling and stopping for the one rein stop. So I'm sure on the stop, but comfort. Give into the rein nicely. Okay. So step up for this one is actually get some backwards. So I'm going to play with them now. Figure out the easiest way to sort of get to the back. I've got sticks to help me. So basically bring it to stop. There. There. Yeah. So see that? See that, yeah? There, give it. Right? Walk. Give it backwards. There you go. Walk. Look. Work on these. Still. So here now we have a point. We're trying to stop this one thing. There. So I build and I build until there's release, okay? Good. So this now is just one working. There. That's it, right? So, as I demonstrated yesterday, to get him to back off pressure explains why sometimes, especially on that first, because I look back to when I rode him and I just a little bit of contact and for the back, lovely. I got Spanish walk. Now, traditionally, I mean, it makes sense being taught that way, right? But for the simples of riding a horse, right, minus the fancy other things, right? You want some brakes. So if I make a noise, there, so now that was a lot softer, alright? So we're getting to a point where he wants to actually chill and stand. See how he goes without me asking, okay? So, for now, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Okay? So that is just what I'm trying to achieve, and he's learnt that pretty fast. So he's done that before, so it's not like no one's ever taught him back before, okay? However, there, right, so he's square. Good. Okay? So that's all I'm practicing here. It's just take back, good boy, back, back. There. So we had a thought of going around, okay, and avoiding it, because this is the big problem this horse has. It's misconceiving for people, and it will make sense when I tell people that straight away the horse doesn't understand the pressure it's receiving. This one's had so much pressure and indication, right, and cues, that it gets to a point where it overlaps, if that makes sense, right? So with the reins for this horse, people have probably rode them to me and go, right? Reins for me, teaching them at the moment, is there just his head control. Okay, often I'd want a horse to stop actually off the seat, all right? So there, I'm gonna wait for him to calm down. He's reading energy a lot more, okay? And he'll get better at that the more time goes on. So, bring him here, okay? And I'm gonna let him figure it out. So I've got him in the backwards cue. There, good. So that's all that was, okay? Little exercise, there, sniffing the ground. So that's not actually him wanting to walk away there, I thought it was, okay? So, I'm going to play after with his cues, because I need to know where on his body roughly everything is, right? Because I don't want to overrule something and lose out on a cue, correct? However, if I was to put under now, okay, I'm putting it under, and I'll put it up where the reins are. So, we've got some back steps. Okay, so it's getting a lot better, okay? A lot better. So now he wants to step out. He thinks we're lunging all the time, okay? So I'm just going to calm it. Calm it. Lovely. So I'm letting you know that standing still and just reversing, Okay, taking them feet back. It's just, that's all we're doing. Okay. There's the side. See the head bob, see it? So on this side it's a lot more common, alright? So here he's just going to keep pushing through the pressure, and I'm going to keep it on until there, right? There, okay? So we have that whole lap. So you got to think of this. You got to picture it in a sense of riding, okay? So on there I'm using that cue. What did I get? I got him trying to push through, right? Push through the pressure, because if he pushes through enough, he gets a release, okay? And that's taught him how to do that. So I'm going to ask you again, just politely, okay? Politely. And be careful of his Spanish walk, because I reckon his cue is quite the air underneath his nose, okay? So here he's thinking. So I'm just going to let him think, alright? There, ooh, almost. I can't keep it up. There we go. That's all that is, okay? That side particularly needs a lot more work than others, okay? He probably knows at the moment. Now I'm going to call him back in now, because this has been the routine, right? So I don't have to do it as impactful as I was before. There. Okay? Lovely. Another thing as well, if I do this, see that? Okay, how he just goes, right? Goes off everything. So it's very sensitive, okay? He's not a hard one to get motivated at all, alright? So I'm going to try again. So I'm just going to position. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, wow. I'll give him space there. Done a good while. Walk around if he wants. Okay, well, I'm going to bring that back. Now if I do the other side, okay? So here, one way stop, disengage the hind end, okay? So, here, oh, see, we're wondering, okay, there, right? So I'm going to keep him where I need him to be. Then, I'm going to add the backwards. Okay, add the backwards. See on this side how much I have to do, yeah? Good boy. Good boy. There. Okay. Good boy. There. Good boy. So actually, then neutral, right? Neutral, no rain, no pressure on is actually stand, right? So that's how I'm just reprogramming this. So these are the cues that would have changed, okay? Well, not changed, got better. See there how light that was, right? Walk back, okay? Whoa, and back, right? And working on it. Almost. There, back. So his head's quite raised because the car outside, okay? However, if I just see that, I don't know if you notice there, my hand's in a different opposite side, so my drive hand he actually walked into. This is my point hand, my drive hand, okay? So we'll give him a break from that, so give him some basic lunging, alright? I'm looking for a nice result here, okay? I'm looking for focus. So, nice, calm result. If he wants to walk, that's okay. I prefer that. I want him to start thinking down and not faster, alright, when pressure's there. Okay? So I'm going to ask for the disengage. There. Okay? Now we're on the other rank. Alright, so that's there now. We walked into the correct hand. Okay? Because I swapped. So swap hands and he went straight into it. However, doing this transition on the move is where he kind of gets a bit flustered. Okay? So I'll demonstrate what I mean. So if I invite in and then there, see how he pushes through, right? So here now I have to keep on something. See, he's convinced at the moment, oh no, it's that side, whereas it's actually not. Okay? So I'm calm this down. I'm still keeping it on though, because if I release now, I get the wrong impression. Okay? There. Right, and see how it's still a big thing, right? It's still a massive thing for him. For me to go from one rein straight to the other. Now if I had a stick, it would probably make my life a lot easier. But we'll test that there at the moment. Okay? So here I'm going to ask the same thing, alright? I'm going to invite in the same way, so I'm raising, okay, he disengages, hand goes up, see, he runs into it, yeah? So, I'm going to calm this down, disengage, I'm going to be very calm, I'm going to look at his hind end, okay, I'm looking at his hind end, okay, he's reading this, he's slow down, see it, okay? feel it, right? I'm ready. There, going through it again. Okay, so I've got to keep this on. Because this is really unusual communication for a horse. Okay, so I'm really good at this again, big one. Pause. Allow them to pass through. Okay. So that there was these conversations that need to be had, okay? Because he's misinterpreting pressure to a point he's actually running into it. And you never want a horse to run into pressure, otherwise they turn into a dog, alright? So if someone was staring at them, causing them pressure elsewhere, they're just going to run at it. That's not what a horse is, right? So, I'm going to calm it down. I'm going to breathe, I'm going to lower my energy. See how slow I'm walking? Okay, he's going to read that. Okay, and he's going to focus. And when I stop moving, he should stop there. Okay, so now, be sensitive. I was about to start going for a fuss, but at the moment, it's high energy right now, because it's just very constant. So I'm going to drop. I'm dropping my energy, I'm dropping my energy. Okay, I'm letting him choose how long he wants to keep this conversation going. There we go. Okay, he wants to go again, so I'm going to do the same again. So, when he's frank, he's going to have to get rid of it. He'll figure out how by doing that. Okay, cool. And now he's walked off again. So here now, he's on the go. Okay? So at the moment, I can't quit until I've got a nice standstill, alright? Because otherwise he'll constantly think on the go is the right way to go. Okay? So walk. There. Right? Friendly. Right? It's a good thing to be still. Right? Chest back. I'm looking at your feet. There, nice. There, nice. Okay? So, and it's got to a point now, I'm starting to learn a little bit. See how I went to go there? So I've already took position. There's a lick and shoot, right? So I've already took the position in order to control this of what he's doing. And you'll often find he comes up behind, right? He likes being this close. Okay? That's fine, you can let him. But there has to be boundaries, and there has to be a level of respect when doing it. So that day I went to walk off of the gate, so I didn't let it right. Well, anyone who wants to know what a Spanish blue looks like? Same as all the others. Cool. Right. So, it's not magic dust, alright? Not magic dust or, you know, smells different, smells exotic, right? No, it's literally the same. So, there. So I'm letting you know, standing still is correct. So, now, I've brushed upon that, I've got a sense of backwards. There, right, I've got a sense of backwards. But after he goes back, notice how he has to go forward, right? He didn't just want to stand after a back then, he was like, I need to move now. And it's quite unusual to have this level of problem, okay? But if he sees that, every step you take back is going to do 20 forward, okay? So, back. I'm going to comfort. There we go. Good walk. See, this is what he likes, right? So I add comfort into the work. So backing up is comfort. Okay? And going away isn't. But see how he's on me now? His head ain't moving, yeah? So he's a very, very particular horse in understanding pressure and where it's coming from, what it's actually asking, because there's so much to him that is overwhelming, right? There's so much to him that is really difficult for him to process, understand, digest, and have the action from it. He kind of skips the digestion part and the thought of what it is, and just goes straight to action, right? So the intention is simple with a back, right? I'm going to give attention. Okay, I'm going to ask the back. There, he thought about it, did it, done. Now this is where he shouldn't walk forward. There's a lick and chew. So it's timing. Okay, I'm setting him up for success. Okay, I'm setting him up for the overall goal that needs to be met. Okay, and the goals with this horse is just to get backwards nicely, okay, not to a whole lot of pressure because he will be a ridden horse, okay. And second thing, respect while doing so, okay. Third thing, which I'm going to delve into now, is actually finding out about him. Now these past 2 sessions, this one and the one before, has been my goal, okay. It's been just to get to know him. I've treated him, basically I've just gone with what he's done, okay, so I've not gone in there with any sort of motive. Of course I've been working towards them 2 goals that I've said before. However, I've just been getting to know him, okay. Like I say, and delusions, say are my specialty. I do know a lot about the characteristics, their nature. However, a horse is always going to be a horse and it's going to be different to all the others. Which this is what separates good horsemen from experienced horsemen. And you yourself from hearing that you'll know what category you fit in. But regardless, we all love one thing, horses. Okay? So like Pirelli said, right? There's 2 kinds of people. There's people that love horses, and then there's the other kind. Alright? So, I've given him a little bit of a break here, just to chill, have a think. Right, so I'm just going to ask the back, and then quit. Now, head went away, okay, but not feet. So, I'm practicing with him the mind to feet connection, okay? Everything that goes through his mind, the feet have a reaction to. However, it's not always the case, all right? And it shouldn't always be the case because that is really unhealthy, all right? Horses should, to a limit, okay, depending on the horse, what they've been through, the nature, if they're mature enough, etc., right? Often older horses can actually not have to move when something is causing them to have adrenaline. However, some horses actually need to naturally move when something is causing them adrenaline, maturity, anxiousness, right? Some horses can stand there, right, digest, okay? This one fits in the bracket, a very small window, right, there's room in there, but it's not big at all, to take something, okay? And if it goes over that limit, he'll either put up with it, or he'll put up with it in a way that we don't like, okay? When riding, etc. Or even in general, okay? So, here now, this is the longest we've stood, and I'm talking purposely, right? I'm just sort of rambling on here, because at the moment, he's actually okay. I'm doing a lot of hand signals, see? And I'm actually not getting a response. It's because I'm not looking at him, right? If you really want me to demonstrate, you really want to show off a little bit, yeah? What it is. See how I looked at him, right? And he's gone, okay? So these horses' eyes matter because they've got so many cues in different places. There. So they've got so many cues in different places, okay? So wherever you look and apply that pressure, people don't realise your eyes are actually a signal of pressure, okay? They actually are. Same as my hands if I open them, right? There's all these signals of pressure that push energy onto him without me even knowing. Okay, this is why with sensitive, very sensitive horses, you have to be very careful about sort of how you act, and it's got to be very decisive. So here, it's a back, okay? But see how he's fighting it, right? His head's nodding, right? But this is the rein position, so now I'm going to help him. Boom, done, goes away. You're quite quiet now. Got some respect here. Try again. There we go. So we're getting these cues in, right? So we can take advantage of them in the future, okay? And to work on your stop, the best thing you can do is work on your back, which is why I'm not concerned and I'm praising him every time he stops because he's going to do that naturally anyway, okay? I'm praising him for the back because that's reverse mentality, okay? He's a forward-going horse, very forward, next thing, on the go, right, all the time. So, having him think backwards, right? And this is why I practice things like this, where I'm thinking down, right? Because it's reverse of up, okay? So a lot of people don't understand is when I actually have to work with a horse, I have to get to know them. I observe what people do with them, and I do the opposite. It's quite a, I mean, people say it's a hard thing to do. Not initially to observe, okay? Like it's not a difficult thing to do because someone gives me something, I've got this with that, right? horse won't load, etc. I see how they do it, see how they've tried, okay? I'm not going to do that. Alright, so I've got to sit here and think out the box. And now this is back to the good horseman, experienced horseman quote, okay? To where a lot of people out there are experienced horsemen, okay? They've got a lot. You're going to park literally in front of the camera? Do you want to show off that badly? Go. So yeah, I'm just going to control his feet, but I want it to be with some quality and respect. There. Okay, so we're going to stop. There. Okay. Ooh, touched in there. It's a bit of a yeah. He's got a rested leg there, I don't know if you've seen. I'm just going to try and park him just over here. Alright, right in front of the camera. Right in front of the camera. Right? Just so I can just talk to you guys, okay? So, there. Okay, I'm going to leave him alone. Right. Good pass. Good boy. Right, so as I was saying, good horseman, experienced horseman, right? Okay. Good horsemen adapt, okay? They can walk in, Pat Riley said savvy, right? Got a level of savvy about them, so they can control effortlessly, okay? And you've got experienced horsemen which use what they've done with other horses, okay? But that is roughly the only thing they have, or they have an education, okay? Tradition is one of those to where, yes, it works. Does it work as efficiently as I'd like? No. Does it work for every horse? Definitely not. Okay? So, when you're approaching a horse like this, if I was to do tradition with him, right, you might understand it a little better. But for me, it doesn't get this result. With the big breaths, okay? Again, like I said, I wish you could hear this. Every time you get a pause, a break, this horse breathes out, really, right, and really just goes calmer than ever, right? Really lower his head today, right? There's not even a whole lot of pressure there, okay? But again, after everything he thinks, he's got to go. All right, I'm not telling him anything, okay? So, there. Right. He loves attention, right? So, I'm going to learn a bit about him now. Okay? First I'm starting to get some stops. I can actually work on a few things to do with the sticks. Now, this is a Pirelli carrot stick. Okay? This is what I use for predominantly. You can see him already, right? Getting a lot of tension with it. You would have seen me at the beginning, just sort of throw it over him, right? Let him approach it, okay? And just let him figure it out. Because if I'm not looking at it, it doesn't mean anything. Alright? Good boy. Okay, thinking about walking up, thinking about it. There's a foot, maybe. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just literally be quite direct, and I'm going to swing over. And he's figured out quite fast. If he stops, it goes away. And that's very important for this horse in general. Because if he stops, it goes away. Okay? Here he's opening it. Okay? Stops. Goes away. Alright? That there is something that shouldn't be happening with this horse. Okay? So again, can I actually here now apply some pressure? It's a lot easier with a stick. Okay? He's running into it. Okay? See how he's running into the stick, yeah? He's not running away from it. And this is the programming that's been done in order. There, see? He's trying his hardest, but I can't give up here. Okay, so calm it down. Get loose from my rope. And get slower. I'm going to work on the cues that I just did. Okay, moment, he's going to have a little bit of a shock. Okay? So, turn in, place, keeping up, keeping up, keeping up, keeping up. Here, you have a very confused horse. If I drop the stick, drop the stick. Wow, that was a lot. Okay. Seeing how hard that was for him. Yeah? Now, I got round him, and now see up on his head. Now this is what is happening every single time he's in this scenario. Right, so I've just got to repeat do what I'm going to do. Okay, so now we are on the other side, but actually, I'm bothered about that right now. Okay, right. So there we had quite a blow up. Okay. Now, did he evade me quite slightly? Yeah. Alright, but if I, it's a tough one. It is one of them where it's you keep on until. Currently, that's not how he receives information. So there might have looked. It was a lot. Yes, it was. It was a lot for him. A lot for me, as well, in fact. Because I had a choice to make. So, if I was to keep on in that moment, nothing good would have came of it. Nothing. Right? So I had to influence him by first dropping it back below that line that he crosses, okay? And then communicate what I actually wanted. Turns out what I actually wanted at the end was actually a pause. I started with the change of direction, but you can see how hard it is for him to process things like that. Alright? So I'm gonna work with him that now. So I'll catch you back in a little bit. Okay. Welcome to this. So we're just past that. And change direction. Okay? So move this away. So where you stick still, that's fine. We're working now. Nice. Nice. So my current moment is just to get that head more inwards and the have to use much like that. Okay, coming off there, in. I'm using this position to mimic brain pressure. Okay, put right foot. I'm going to stop my feet. Hopefully he doesn't run into me. Good. That there is just me hoping a bit of respect, which he does. He's respectful. Moving. Good. Here I'm going to same again. Bump. And for the comfort. Forward. 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 So that there is the end of day 2. Okay. Again, I'm just working on principles. Nothing too crazy. I beat him there. See. So I actually beat his thought then, because he wanted to walk and didn't. So this horse, main things I figured out today is, okay, you need to be on the ball with him. Okay, he's going to need increases of pressure. Okay, we need to work on this. There, see how his head went up and back and back and and back. Right, so we're getting little progress there, right? Okay. So, main things need to happen with this horse is really laying in and getting them back cues soft. Okay. Second thing, recall. Okay, I'm recalling him in a way that will benefit the saddle, like that. But you also need to respect that and possibly take a step back once done. Okay, because he does this. This is what I talked about earlier, is the on-the-go mindset. Okay, so on the go, on the go, on the go. There. Okay. Good walk. Steady. Right, so that on-the-go mindset needs to be tackled. Alright, that is what I'm working on. That is currently my only goal at the moment, is to get this on-the-go mindset changed by a little bit of reverse psychology, applying the reverse cues, can take steps back and trying to turn that mind around to where it's not always next. He'll ask the question, if we don't answer, he won't perceive nothing of it. Okay? Because at the moment, even if he asks the question and I don't give him an answer, he'll choose anyway. Okay? So, plan of action over the next few days, not tomorrow, but the day after, and mostly over the weekend possibly, is I'm going to come, work with him, just work on these exercises, and really just prove, show in, put in these cues for him to understand pressure, understand tension well, because if you do that, you'll be able to use that with all the cues that you have, with everything that this horse can do. So, with everything this horse can do, if you can understand intention well. Now, intention with moves, he actually understands, okay? It's the intention of just basically that, like that, right? Doesn't have to go anywhere, all right? That is what I'm going to be laying in, okay? It's already laid in, been getting better, okay? So, thanks for watching this one. Hope it was a help, but yeah, he's been perfectly fine, great health. And yeah, I'll be working on this with him quite a fair bit, so see you in the next one.